Now, a Warwickshire businessman who set himself a New Year's challenge to write a poem a week in 2020 is now publishing them to raise money for a local cancer charity. Alan Heap will live stream himself reciting all 52 poems back-to-back on Saturday in Leamington. The poems acted as a journal through the pandemic and show the highs and the lows of an eventful year. More from him shortly, but first of all, a taster of how Alan, like the rest of us, could never have predicted how 2020 would turn out.
It's done. It's here. Welcome 2020. Promising new year. What's to be, what's to do, what's to hope for in your new? Who could have foreseen, when March arrived, that a virus would go viral? Don't be afraid. Turn your camera on. I mean, come on. What can possibly go wrong? As long as your face is mostly in view. It's called poetry in motion. We're coming out of lockdown, slowly blinking in the sun. Cautiously emerging, a small revival has begun. Etiquette's your choice. Try not to eat food. Tell others first if you're appearing nude.
But Alan's a former children's TV presenter and performer on the West End stage. I chatted to him earlier about his literary adventure. Did this come out the blue, or is he in fact a part-time bard?
What a lovely phrase, Nick, a part-time bard. No, I've always liked writing, and particularly actually I like performing poetry as well and reading things out loud. I think I got a love of that from sort of Maria Edgar poems when I was a kid in Yorkshire. But I've always loved the sound of poetry, but really not a poetry writer at all. So it was just something I decided to do, partly as a sort of marketing exercise for our company at the start of 2020. So I just thought it was going to be a little bit of fun, really.
I think it's quite tough going every day trying to come up with a new poem. Do you ever get that sort of blank sheet syndrome?
Oh, definitely. Sometimes the things suggested themselves. You know, if it was presidential elections, that was obvious, or if it was a big thing like a George Floyd or something in the year, it was obvious. But no, sometimes you just sit there thinking, what on earth is this week going to be about? And then you end up writing a poem called What on Earth? Or, you know, start somewhere. Yeah.
And it wasn't all doom and gloom?
No, definitely not. No, in fact, there's lots of... I think I was laughing a lot of the time. I think I was sort of finding ways to laugh at the situation, to laugh at the things that we were all doing because we were locked in and locked down. You know, how much fun sort of can we have and celebrate some of the things that people did, actually. So yeah, there's a lot of humour. It's my way anyway. I prefer to look at things with a slightly humorous side.
Yeah, and now you're publishing them in a book to raise funds for a leukemia charity.
Well, it's funny you should mention the book, Nick. I don't know if I mentioned the book. Yes, look, it was certainly a terrible tragedy for Louise Dillon Bennett and her family. Their son Fred died aged 14 during the pandemic, and this book is raising funds for research into childhood leukemia. And yes, I don't think whatever I went through and whatever other people went through was really tough times, but certainly that's at the tragic end of things. So there's a really good reason for raising the money, and I hope we do manage to raise a lot.
And I gather you're going to read them out non-stop on Saturday. Have you got plenty of water handy?
Yes, water and breath, I think, don't you? Yes, there are 52, and I'm going to give the context each time. So that's my task, and we're live streaming it. So I'd have thought at least, you know, some members of my family might join, don't you think?
Great stuff. Wish you well, Alan. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you very much, Dick. All the very best to you. Thanks for calling me.
Alan used to work with the Chuckle Brothers, so our interview is very much, you know, to you, to me, to you, to me. Yeah, you know what I mean.